As I watch Pop the Bubble, I see that hustle culture has rotted the American brain. There's no way they ask you what you're doing for a living and you say electrician, but I'm also a bartender and I also do videos on the side and I also do like slash. Come on now. When do you have time to date? Why are you here? It's just so funny to me because it's like, why do you need to do so many things? Why is one job not enough? Obviously, that's like a rhetorical question, but you just watch the videos and you're like, okay, you're listing hobbies also, but it's just crazy because why do I need to have to say this many things for you to get to like me? Like, one job is enough, as long as it's paying. Like, yeah, I'm an engineer, but I also make the tip of the shoelaces, and I also do like. I think that's my only gripe. Crazy. I would never.
Hello everyone, this is Emmanuel Cook. We will be reacting to a new video today, so make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's get into the video.
Here's why, as a business owner, I don't subscribe to hustle culture, and I still see incredible growth and opportunity in myself and my business. If you don't prioritize yourself and your mental health, then you will literally crash and burn, and there won't be any success in any area of your life. Hustle culture teaches us go 24/7. If you're not pushing yourself, then you're not worthy of being successful. But I think that's bullshit. You should be able to take charge of your life. You don't need to beat yourself up over having days where you prioritize your rest and your mental health and self-care first. Because if you're constantly draining your cup, how the fuck are you supposed to show up in an impactful way? It's not about constantly grinding, but finding balance between prioritizing your mental health and prioritizing your work. Like, I don't give into hustle culture at all, and I'm still creating a better world around me and doing something meaningful with my life. You can literally do the same thing. So if you're feeling overwhelmed by hustle culture, just remember that you have the power to create a better world for yourself while still taking time for yourself.
A reminder that hustle culture is dead. Don't keep grinding until you die. Don't sleep when you're dead. Don't overwork yourself to the point of complete exhaustion and you end up feeling ill. You get ill. You break something. All of this is interconnected, even down to car accidents and car crashes. And I'm speaking purely on my own lived experience. 2019 was the year that everything came to a head for me. Everything that I was working on, I was working 100 miles an hour, no breaks, no rest, until I actually crashed my car. Did I actually think, yeah, it's too far now? And by the way, the crash, I was safe. It was just an aquaplaned into a bush. But still, the car was damaged and I couldn't work for a couple of weeks. And I was like, okay, universe, I hear you now. The problem is we won't stop by choice. So that's when the universe has to intervene. Have a look at your life and see the moments where it's been out of your hands and things haven't worked. That's the universe working in your favor.
Stop just hustling. Start living on purpose. Hustle culture will have you out here running on empty, chasing someone else's version of success. But today, I dare you. Hit the brakes for a second. Ask yourself, am I grinding for something real or just grinding to stay busy? Come here and get this medicine. Dreams are heavy. Goals can feel like a lot. And guess what? That's not a bad thing. The weight, that's your why. It's the fire in your chest. The reason you're willing to get up, show up, and fight for what matters. But let's not sugarcoat it. The process is messy. It's late nights, early mornings, and sometimes feeling like you're spinning your wheels in the mud. It's questioning if you're even on the right path. But you are. Every stumble, every dirt-covered step is shaping a future no one else can touch because it's yours. Stop apologizing for not having it all figured out. Stop apologizing. Progress isn't about perfection. It's about the boldness to keep showing up. Even when the road ahead looks like chaos, your path doesn't need to look like anyone else's. Maybe today you take a giant leap. Maybe you take just a small step. Either way, you are making progress. And if all you can do today is rest and regroup, that's progress too. So I'm challenging you. Shift gears. Don't just hustle. Move with purpose. Let your goals be your compass and your purpose be the fuel that keeps you going. This right here is your reminder. You've got this. One step, one decision, one messy moment at a time. Let's go. Get on out there and have a great day. The world is waiting for something only you can give it.
This is something that you desire and you know that you are personally working towards a goal and that you're okay with that, then absolutely go for it. What I'm concerned with and what I was highlighting is that there's this grind culture that's fueled by capitalism, that's rooted in shame, that I think Dave Ramsey. I actually like Dave Ramsey's, by the way, and his team. I agree with a lot of things they say, not everything, but I think that shame, this idea that you can't be resting, you can't enjoy leisure, you can't enjoy downtime, that for me is problematic. And it almost feels like you have to earn your rest, you have to earn your joy. And I don't think that's fair for human beings. As human beings, I think these are experiences that we should have automatically, and we don't have to earn those things. So if you truly desire to work towards a goal, go for it, but understand your why. And I just hope that it's not from a place that's rooted in shame, that's driving people to feel like they shouldn't be able to rest.
You know what I need to stop doing? I need to stop shaming myself for resting. Like, I'll be resting, like, I'll be, like, taking a mental health day. Like, sometimes it's just, like, life be just too much. And the whole time I'm supposed to be resting, all I'm doing is laying there in my head, beating myself up about the fact that I'm not doing nothing at the moment. And then that's making me even more exhausted because now I'm sitting here making up stuff that I should be doing in my head. But in reality, my body, my mind, my spirit just need to rest. But I'm not allowing myself to rest. So now I'm frustrated and I'm fighting and I'm tugging and warring with myself and my mind. But physically, it looks like I'm just laying down and I'm resting. But I'm not, so I'm actually still fatigued, if not even more fatigued. And I feel like it really comes from, like, the hustle culture, like, hustle, 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 hustle. And I feel like hustle culture comes from, like, people that have grown up in poverty, like, for real. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, growing up in poverty, you feel like you gotta hustle, hustle, hustle. Because I've been around wealthy people, and I'm not saying that they don't work, and I'm not saying that they don't work hard, but it's not this constant, like, hustle, hustle, hustle culture. Like, they take trips, they take vacations, they take time off to spend with their family. They got hours when they're working, hours when they're not working. Like, it's just, you know, there's a balance. Or I'm not even gonna say a balance, but there's a time for work, and then there's a time for play, or there's a time for rest, or there's a time for family, etc., etc. And I just feel like this hustle culture is just, I ain't gonna lie, for real, it's slick toxic. It's really, like, low-key toxic because people be like, oh, you wanna win? You got to. And I'm not saying that, like, I'm not saying that that's not it. What I'm saying is like, baby, sometimes you got to, like, you got to listen to yourself. Like, there has to be a season for you to rest. There has to be a season for you to be able to restore, recover, rejuvenate, like, get fresh ideas, like just step back and, like, look at things, grow, like, you know, heal. It has to be time for both. Like, you can't just be hustle, 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 hustle all the time, because I feel like that's how you find yourself in a cycle of just doing stuff just to do it. I'm in a season of my life where it's really about intention, and I'm learning how to not shame myself for resting and taking time off, because I know when I work hard, like, and it's nothing wrong with working hard, but it's also nothing wrong with, like, resting hard either. So yeah, I'm about to take a nap.
Yo, Hi, it's been a while, but I felt the need to talk because I just got dinner with some students after a guest lecture I did here at Cal. And I don't know, there's a statement that was said that I used to agree with and I don't anymore, and I want to talk about it. So one of the students basically said that, a successful startup, like, you gotta have that hustle. You have to be, you can't just be working 9 to 5. You have to be, like, it's like 9 to 7 or 9 to 8 or 9 to 9. You gotta be putting that work. But, like, I don't know. I think when I was younger, I think I glorified the hustle because I thought that was what generated the most value in a company. But as I'm realizing it, especially in like the beginning, at a certain point of the day, like, you're no longer really putting in real productive hours. Like, once you get to like hour 8, it's just long and dragging, especially for a software startup. Like, what, you're gonna, if you're doing sales, you're gonna make another call? You're gonna keep making calls for 8 hours when like half the world is already asleep, right? Like, no, you don't. Like, you're doing other things like lead funnel stuff. And honestly, that type of stuff, like, how much more of your productivity is going to be at 100% when you're doing those things? And yeah, I don't know. Like, I just feel like we glorified the work for work's sake, when in reality it's not. It just really isn't supposed to be like that much, It's like that overworking for overworking's sake instead of actually generating and providing real value for your users or your customers or whatnot. Like, yeah, I work 8 to 10 hours, but as a founder, I mean, it makes sense to, right? I have all these ideas I want to implement for a business, but like, when you give someone a job and they're able to complete it, it should not matter how long. Like, the expectation shouldn't be, oh my gosh, you got to be working 12 hours every day. It's like, if they can get it done in fucking 7 or 6 hours because they're really good at what they do, then it just takes them that long, I don't know. I'm more of a quality versus quantity guy. And I think that's been emphasized, especially with all the stuff that I'm involved in nowadays, that it really is quality over quantity of time. Really, those productive hours are more important than, sheer quantity of those hours. Anyways, that's it.
I'm recovering boss babe, and we're going to talk about it. Americans are not addicted to work. We're addicted to hustle culture because it's all we know. But being a boss babe is not all it's cut out to be. Back in 2020, I started my first business, which was a catering business called Green Queens. I still have that business. I am just not currently running with that business because I don't have a commercial kitchen to cook out of. I also, in 2022, opened a location, a storefront, and started my first photography studio. Ended up closing in 2023 because the man that owned the commercial unit that I was running my business out of, I planned on staying there long term. He had convinced me that we were going to be there long term. And then the spring hit and he decided to sell the building to someone else for what I could not afford at the time. Like, I just couldn't do it. So I was forced to move from that location and close down my business. And I lost everything that I invested in it. I also lived in the apartment above that business, so I didn't only lose my job, I also lost my home. Me and my family ended up homeless for a few weeks. I did manage to get a job as a school photographer in the meantime. The honey got a job at Meijer, and things were good for a while. But we still had to use the food pantry to get by because neither of us were making the money we used to make. And our entire lives were flipped upside down. And you guys are probably like, well, how does this tie into the hustle culture? I'm getting there. After I lost my business, I forced myself to sit down and really look at things from both a positive side and a negative side. And when I went back and reflected on all the hours of my life that I sacrificed just to accomplish these things, just to feel worthy, to feel like I'm reaching my potential, to feel like I'm doing something important, I sacrificed years of my life away from family, away from friends, missing milestones in my child's life. And I sit back and reflect, was being a boss babe really worth it? No, it wasn't, because at the end of the day, I can't take anything that I did or achieved to my grave with me. I can't get back missing my daughter's first steps. I can't get back her losing a tooth while I was at work. I can't get back any of these things that were actually really more important than money. And if you take a look at what's going on in the world right now, not just in one spot of the world, but multiple spots of the world where people are losing their lives just for resources so we can have stuff. No, hustle culture is not worth it. We do not need no more things. We do not need to buy things. We just need a roof over our head. We just need food. We just need water, and we just need love. That's it. The media and hustle culture in society has us so brainwashed that we just need to work all the time and just achieve, and make money and spend money. No, that's not what life is about. Look at most of the rich and famous celebrities or people that we watch and know. Most of them abuse substances. Most of them have mental health issues. Money is not making them happy, which just goes to prove that money is not the route to happiness. It's just having your basic needs met. And we should not have to hustle our entire lives away just to have our basic needs met. I would be so okay with just working my regular job that makes me happy the rest of my life if I made enough money and was paid properly for what I do and all my human basic needs were met. Like, I wouldn't need outside of that. You see, because I am rich in love, I am rich in inner peace, and I am rich in community and people I have surrounding me that make me feel good as a person. I don't need to hustle and be a boss babe to feel great about myself. Like, that's what it really is. It's about public image and feeling good about yourself because of social hierarchies. We don't have to be boss babes to be the stuff. You can be the stuff without being a boss babe. If we sat here and took money out the equation completely, how many of you guys would raise your hand and say you want to work a job? Or if money was taken out the picture, I tell you what I would be doing with my days. I would be outside gardening, raising some chickens, sitting in the sun, and living. Because working your life away is not living. I hope y'all have a great rest of your day. Y'all enjoyed my TED Talk, and please take care of yourself. Love y'all. Bye.
A quick reminder, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and let's continue the video.
Hustle culture is toxic. It causes you to experience guilt related to rest and engaging in non-productive activities. If you're not actively working, you don't feel like you're doing enough in your life. If you're not actively working, you feel like someone else will get along further than you, which you then feel will ruin your own chance of success. Take a breath and take a break. You cannot give 100% to anyone or anything when you're only operating on 1%.
There's definitely been an anti-hustle culture movement, and I'm all here for it. Because to me, the real flex is having a slow, unhurried life. I don't want to be working all the time. I want a slow, peaceful life where I can take my sweet, sweet time. Are you just like me, or are you still into the hustle culture? Let me know where you stand.
Guys, be very careful about hustle culture. Not all work is actually work. And stop overextending yourselves. These jobs and a lot of these side hustles are not even worth it. If you do have to work more, please make sure that it is actually worth your time, your efforts, and your energy. If it is not, stop it right there.
I have an opinion, and I know it's going to be unpopular. I know people aren't going to agree with me. But you know, in like movies, TV shows, when a woman has a career opportunity and then to get that career, she has to leave the people she loves, like whether it be familial, platonic, romantic, she has to leave those people. And the consensus is usually like, girl boss, queen. I think not only is it not empowering at all, but it's like so sad. It's like a horrible product of like hustle and grind culture, because like you are leaving people that you are irreplaceable to, that love you, for something that you are literally a number. You know, I don't know. And there are some opportunities that are like really crazy and like amazing, and there is nuance to the situation. Like there are some things where it's like, okay, you should go for it. But like in The Devil Wears Prada, for example, everyone's like, the boyfriend and the friends are the villains because they don't want her to achieve her goals. No, I think it's more like they had a friend who is like fine, and then she gets this job that she's overconsumed by, and she's always working, and now she's changing as a person. She doesn't have time for anybody but the job, not even herself. Like, yeah, sure, in the movie, like, Anne Hathaway's character, like, becomes more fashionable and glamorous, but like, is she like happier? Not really. She's just hotter. So it's like, I don't know, I hate it. I don't know, maybe it's just because I'm someone who like thinks that your job is the least interesting, least important part of you, and I'm very much about like forming connections in life rather than like business connections, you know? I don't know, like, it's important, and you need to eat, you need to live, but I don't know, I've always seen a job as more of like a means to an end, and if I have to leave the people that I love to get to that end, it's not worth it, because the part that I'm working towards is so I can have a better life with these people that I love. Does that make sense? I don't know. Grind hustle sucks. I hate hustle culture. Grind hustle? Did I say grind hustle? Grind culture sucks.
I saw a video on here the other day, and I've never resonated with something so much in my entire life. It was a video that basically said to stop hustling. I loved the message. I've always been a big hustler. Like, I just never wanted to feel lazy. I never wanted to feel like I was just sitting around and waiting for things to happen. So I was so caught up in putting in action. I was always running around. I was always doing something. I was always trying to be something. And I didn't realize I was missing a very important ingredient in my recipe. The problem wasn't that I was taking a lot of action. The problem was I was taking a lot of action without direction, without aligning the actions to a specific goal. Because when you're fed this hustler mentality, you just know go, 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 go. But no one ever tells you to go, 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 just in the right direction. I'll give you an example. So when I was looking for jobs, I would just send out all my resumes, all my cover letters, like, to anybody. I was like, oh, this job looks fun, let's do it there. This job looks fun, let's do it there. But I never really sat down and asked myself, what kind of job am I really looking for? What are my non-negotiables in that job? What are my non-negotiables in the company I'm looking for? I was approaching it in this scarcity mindset where I was like, God, I would just be so lucky to have any job. Like, I'm in this low power position and I just need a job. So, you know, I'm just gonna put in all my efforts to anything I can get. And I was just exhausting all of my energy into sending out my resumes, but I never really had a clear direction. I never really was putting that energy into the right places. And I think the secret is just stopping and reflecting about where you want to actually head to, so that when you do exhaust your energy, you're at least moving in the right direction.
If you do not make time for your wellness, you are going to be forced to make time for your illness. The way my brain works, I just feel like I have to do so much more than most people have to do just to have a productive day. Something that I used to do that I no longer do anymore as a licensed therapist is beat myself up when I have days when I don't do shit. When I say today, I was like in bed for like 65 to 70% of the day. Years ago, like, this is something that caused so much shame, so much guilt. And what I noticed is that the more I stayed in this habit of shame and guilt, the longer that bout of not being productive stays there. Historically, like, I struggle with seasonal depression, and I really didn't know that until, you know, I was diagnosed like a couple years ago when I was in LA, and I was like, oh, it's just because it's, you know, it's winter and it's cold, but I still felt seasonal depression when I was in LA, and having CPTSD and ADHD. These are things as being Nigerian that I never subscribed to, but it's real. You have days where it just feels so much and it just feels overwhelming. I'm telling you, allow yourself to just take care of yourself. Allow yourself to, you know, not beat yourself up about it, because tomorrow I'm going to be back on my game. But today just wasn't it. And I think we need to start to normalize that we just can't keep pushing through. When your body says you need rest, you need to listen to your body.
You do not need to monetize your hobbies. Like, hustle culture and social media got y'all into this wrapped up idea that, oh my gosh, if you love doing something, you need to learn how to make money off of it. Yes, in some cases you should do that. However, sometimes your hobbies just need to remain your hobbies, because that's why y'all be so sad, because y'all take something that y'all love and y'all try to make it a business when you never wanted it to be a business. You just wanted it to be something that you enjoy, something that you just like to do for leisure. keep your hobby a hobby. It does not always have to make you money. It does not always have to do that. Like, you can find a different business idea. You can find something else, but everything in your life don't need to be tied to, you know, making you income, because that stresses you out. You need hobbies. You need stuff that de-stresses you. You need stuff that keeps you entertained. Just at least one of your hobbies, just try not to make money from it. Just enjoy it. Enjoy it, and I promise you, you'll be so much happier than you would making money, because y'all start businesses off these hobbies. 6 months later, you don't even like doing it no more, and you don't even do the business. Now you out of a business, wasting money, and you don't even like your hobby.
Nobody talks about how scary it truly feels to leave behind the hustle culture and to go into the energy of being. This is the phase of becoming. You are becoming more and more of yourself, authentically yourself, and you are moving towards the energy of getting paid to exist. But let's talk about that little transition phase where it does get a little scary, because your mind is going to try to play tricks on you, and your mind is going to logically approach the perspective. And that happened to me twice. When I left the companies in July 2023, I had a phase of my life where I was like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, how am I going to bring in money? The whole month of July 2023, August 2023, September 2023, I had absolutely no idea where the money was going to come from. September, I went to Hawaii, which is like very expensive, and I went with the last bits of my savings. I had absolutely no idea back then where money was going to come from, because I was building the Ethereal Bloom shop company. But I was not like feeling inspired. Every time that I tried to work, it wouldn't work. Every time that I was trying to do things, like, it wasn't working. There was always something like blockage, because I needed to rest during that time. I needed to shed the energy of the businesses themselves, the identity of being a business owner and of being a woman in business in the Montreal community, and to go more towards the rest period. During those months, it was those months where I started really enjoying life. I learned to go outside just to go outside. Instead of going outside and looking at the time and having my phone and then everything and just thinking about everything else, I learned to go outside. I got a paddle board. I learned to be in the water and just look at the sun without thinking about all of the things on my to-do list, because I had nothing on my to-do list. And it was scary, because it's a shift where I was going from a secure income. Although the income was not that much, it was still a secure income. I knew that I had money to be able to pay my bills, to be able to pay my rent, to be able to pay for the life that I want. And eventually things got together, but it was scary. And even now I'm going through it, because I'm leaving behind the identity of being the tarot reader and being the healer. In June of last year, I stopped taking personal readings, and I started like really going far away from being one-on-one with clients. And that was the first phase. But I was still doing tarot readings online, so my identity was still there, but it was more on a collective energy instead of one-on-one, so it was draining me a little less. Until at the end of last year, I really got the message that I needed to also stop posting tarot readings online, because I needed to cater to my energy. And through the tarot readings, I was able to promote the Divinity Grimoire. I was able to promote the Divine Feminine Business Blueprint, all blueprints and all guides that are absolutely insanely good. And I'm not going to stop promoting them, because they're still insanely good, and they're digital products that need to be seen and need to be heard of. The Divine Feminine Business Blueprint aligns you to such an authentic frequency to money that truly the gems in that blueprint are insane. The Divinity Grimoire, don't even get me started on that, because I'm going to start on like a whole 10-minute rant. The rituals, the guided meditations, absolutely everything. The reason why I am where I am today is because of the guided meditations, because of the rituals that are there. The reason why I'm going through the shifts that I'm going through right now is because of the Divinity Grimoire. And everybody who has the Grimoire can attest to it. But again, don't get me started, because I'm not going to stop. But those promotions were always linked to the tarot readings, because it was easy to link them together. But now that I'm sharing more and more of my story, I don't feel like promoting the Divinity Grimoire as much. Like, I don't, because it doesn't connect. I'm talking about my story, and it's like, it's my story, right? So it's again that transitional phase of leaving behind one identity to the other. And then of course the mind is going to go, and it's like, okay, so we have faith. The faith is there. I know that the universe is going to take care of me. I know that the universe is going to take care of things, and that I'm never going to be left stranded. But of course the fear kicks in, where you're like, oh, maybe I should start scraping my money. Maybe I should start saving. Maybe I should start doing this, doing that, because the security of the income from before, or of how the income was coming before, because it's how it was coming, is no longer there. Because how it was coming was tied to an identity, and now it's no longer tied to that identity. And especially through this phase where we're getting paid to exist, it's learning to have faith to a whole other level, where it's not even that, like, I don't even want to work. I don't even want to do anything work-wise. So it's sitting with that energy of being like, okay, so I really don't want to work. But that's the energy now. It's like, okay, I really don't want to work now. It's the fear that it's going to be permanent. And if it is permanent, which it will be permanent, but when it becomes permanent and we see that it's becoming permanent, then after that, it's trusting that the universe is going to create miracles for us. Trusting that the universe is going to bring us the prosperity, trusting that the universe is going to bring us the money that we need to receive, regardless of how it comes. Because right now, we can't know how the money is going to come. Right now, we can't know. We can't know how we're going to receive the resources to be able to live at the level that we're meant to live. Because we're not there yet where we have to worry about it. We know where we're headed, but we're not there yet where we have to worry about it, because we have to worry about the present moment. July 2023, when I left the companies, I knew that I wanted to do something spiritual. I built the tarot deck. I was designing the tarot deck. I was putting tarot readings online. I started like pushing more and more of spirituality and pushing more of my witch personality online. But I was still working with the mindset of the fear that other people would start really seeing me as a witch, because I kept my witch side very secret or very private. So like employees would see it in a very private way. People around me would see it in a very private way, but I would never really vocalize just how deep my witchy side was and how deep my witchcraft was. Like I used to hide the candles. I used to hide all of the rituals that I used to do. There was one time I was on a shrooms trip and I panicked. I bad tripped and I called the guys, and I was in my bedroom where I had a ritual that was going on, like a cord cutting ritual. There's a whole other thing. But literally I panicked. I got out of the house because I panicked, because if they saw the cord cutting ritual that I was doing, they would think that I was crazy. So literally I panicked and I got out of the room. I went outside in the rain without shoes in the mud, because I didn't want them to see my bedroom. Like that's how much I wanted to keep that hidden. So during that phase of July 2023 to October, November 2023, and I don't know why I keep thinking that 2023 is last year, because in my head we're not yet 2025, because 2025 is technically starting in March. The new year is starting in March, so in my head 2023 was still last year, because we're 2024. So if I mess up with like the timelines, just don't mind me. It's 2023 that I left in July 2023 is when I left. But anyways, during that phase, I needed to take care of myself. I needed to heal. I needed to get over certain blockages that I had, so that I could embody my witchy self fully. And during that phase, again, I didn't need to know fully when or how the money is going to come in. I knew that it was going to come from spirituality, but I didn't know how, when, what would happen, etc. And same thing right now. I know that it's going to come miraculously. How, when, what, I have no idea. And right now, this is where the test of faith is, because we have to keep having faith in the vision that we have, even though in the present moment, there's the insecurity that's coming. Because it's like you feel like buying things, getting new clothes, investing in certain things, getting cosmetic surgery, doing things that is like, it's a lot of money that you're spending on yourself. And in the moment, it doesn't make sense, because you're like, the income is not matching the expenses at the moment. And you're seeing your savings, you're seeing your money that's going down. And you're like, am I doing the right thing right now? But it feels guided. Everything that you do feels guided. But you're looking at it and you're like, am I doing the right thing right now? Am I going to have to go back to the things that I used to do? Back in July 2023, I kept thinking, I'm like, when I saw the money going down in my savings, I kept looking and I'm like, am I going to need to go back? Like, am I going to need to start working for somebody? That was my biggest fear. I'm like, because I never worked for anybody. So I'm like, am I going to need to start working for somebody? I'm like, okay, you know what? Worst comes to worst, I'm going to start. Like, I'm going to do something, whatever it is. But it was the faith. It was having faith that was most important. And right now I'm definitely like promoting the Divine Feminine Business Blueprint, because it was created for that. Like for that, this one I'm definitely going to promote, because it's for that. Like it aligns you to your authenticity, because the goal is the second that you align yourself to your authentic self, you know that you're going to be taken care of, because the universe is never going to leave you stranded, because you're on your authentic path. You've become God's favorite, if we put it this way. The universe's favorite. So being the universe's favorite, do you really think that the universe is going to take away the freedom and the safety that you feel? When the entire purpose of your entire journey was to bring you to this safety, to bring you to this life that you have. Do you really think they're going to take it away? When the entire goal was building you to that. Where you overcame obstacles, where you overcame a resistance, where you overcame karmics, where you overcame absolutely everything to get to where you're at now. Do you really think that they're going to take it away from you? No. And that's what I say in the Divine Feminine Business Blueprint. Like, I swear to God, if you don't have it, get it. And read through it. It's 59 pages. You read through it. It has certain questions, etc. But the gist of it is that. The gist of it is that. You align yourself to your authentic path, and then you have to trust. But it gets scary. If you're scared, you're on the right path. Because that means that you're really like, you're facing the vision and you're like, I'm fucking uncomfortable. I don't like this, but I'm trusting. It's going to be fine. And then you're dealing with those feelings. You're regulating your nervous system through the shift. And especially when you're inching closer and closer to getting paid to exist, it challenges absolutely every single idea that you had in your life, because society taught us that we have to earn our right to live. And now you're moving towards just being worthy already of living. So of course it challenges absolutely every single thing in your mind. So your mind is going to try to challenge the reality. So it gets even scarier. But having been there in 2023, I can tell you that on the other side it's going to be fine. You have to keep trusting. We're going through this right now collectively on a big scale, and you just have to trust. You have to trust, and it's all going to make sense eventually. But you have to fucking trust.
I appreciate you guys watching the video today. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.